town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. Let's creep while you and me repeat. This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire. With crimson secrets and forbidden bliss, can't stay still, don't stop the thrill. My bones crave your skin, temptation within, mistakes ignite the silence. Let's creep while you and me repeat. This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire. Connect the dots straight to the start of intoxicating want. Make every touch reset what's whispered in my back. Set my heart on fire.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I think we can start. Jelena?
Yes, guys, so thank you all for joining and welcome. We will proceed with the roll call right now. I hope you're all ready. Please remember only one OD to type a Y in the chat if your member organization is called. ASEPA Algeria. I for Argentina. NAPS Australia. AFIP Austria. ISFA Benin. ISFA Benin. Are there any representatives from Benin in the room? SAFPUM Bosnia and Herzegovina. CFARM BF Burkina Faso. CAPC Canada. CAP UOB Democratic Republic of Congo. CAP UOB Democratic Republic of Congo. Are there any representatives from Congo in the room? FECOF Costa Rica. CPSA Croatia. CZPSA Czech Republic. SOP Denmark. SOP Denmark. EPSF Egypt. TUPS Estonia. TUPS Estonia. Are there any representatives from Estonia in the room? FIPSA Finland. ANEP France. BPHP Germany. GPSA Ghana. HUPSA Hungary. HUPSA Hungary. Are there any representatives from Hungary in the room? MAPS India. ISMA Farsi Indonesia. IPSA Iran. IPST Iraq. APS Japan. APS Japan. Are there any representatives from Japan in the room? JPSA Jordan. JPSA Jordan. Are there any representatives from Jordan in the room? KEPSA Kenya. KNEPS Republic of Korea. LPSA Lebanon. MyPSA Malaysia. MyPSA Malaysia. Are there any representatives from Malaysia in the room? AAP Mali. FEFAMEX Mexico. BPC Morocco. BPC Morocco. Are there any representatives from Morocco in the room? KMPSV the Netherlands. NZABZO New Zealand. PANS Nigeria. PPHSF Pakistan. APFIP Peru. PPSA Poland. APIF Portugal. QFIS Qatar. QFIS Qatar. Are there any representatives from Qatar in the room? FASFA Romania. RPSA Rwanda. RPSA Rwanda. Are there any representatives from Rwanda in the room? NAPSA Serbia. NAPSA Serbia. Are there any representatives from Serbia in the room? NAPSA Cell Sierra Leone. NAPSA Cell Sierra Leone. Are there any representatives from Sierra Leone in the room? NUSPS Singapore. SPSA Slovakia. SSF de Slovenia. SSF de Slovenia. Are there any representatives from Slovenia in the room? FEF Spain. SNAP Sweden. SNAP Sweden. Are there any representatives from Sweden in the room? ASEP Switzerland. TAPSA United Republic of Tanzania. TAPSA, United Republic of Tanzania. Are there any representatives from Tanzania in the room? PSAT Thailand. IFAT Togo. IFAT Togo. Are there any representatives from Togo in the room? ATEP Tunisia. TPAYC Turkey. UPSA Uganda. BPSA United Kingdom, APHA ASP United States, and ZPSA Zimbabwe. ZPSA Zimbabwe. Are there any representatives from Zimbabwe in the room? I have 42 full members present and voting.
Okay. All right, so can I have a proposer to resume the standing order? Proposed by IPST Iraq and seconded by UPSA Uganda. No, Uganda proposed. Okay, EPSF Egypt. All right. So all those against resuming the standing orders? I see none. Motion carried. So next we will follow the order of the agenda. And I think next we have the auditing committee. Yelena. All right, if I can give the floor to Luca, IPSF Treasurer, to explain the selection of the auditing committee.
Luca, IPSF Treasurer. Okay, just in short, auditing committee is in charge of reviewing our financial records to ensure that all the transactions are justified and done in accordance with IPSF official documents. So according to IPSF official documents, the auditing committee consists of 3 IPSF member organizations, 1 past executive committee member, and 1 advisory board member. So those are the members proposed here. Yes, let me know if there are any questions. Thank you.
Okay, so now I open the floor for discussion. I see no discussion. I close the floor for discussion and proceed with voting. We will try to use the chat box for this one. So all motion 4 reads this: the 66th IPSF General Assembly appoints FEPRA Brazil, CAPSI Canada, PPHD Germany, Ms. Purity Wamboy and Ms. Ruby Galvan as member of the auditing committee for the 2020-21 mandate. This motion shall not be reviewed once it has been achieved. All those against the motion? All those abstaining? Motion carried unanimously. Thank you. And we will update the results on this one. Can we proceed to the next motion? Okay, so motion 55 is about the IPSF declaration. We already added all the documents related to the policy documents related to AMR, the selected topic for this year. And before we proceed, I would like to assess the floor, because the initial plan was to have a maximum of 2 minutes from each region to present their resolutions in front of the whole GA. And then after that, we will present the final declaration. It was agreed among EXCO that the declaration is the core document for this, so it will be presented verbally. But I also want to assess the GA if you would like to hear the region resolutions, or we just proceed with the declaration directly. So if you would like to hear the 5 resolutions up to 2 minutes, please type yes. If no, we will go directly with the declaration, hoping that you got the chance to see the other resolutions. So yes, if you want to hear all resolutions before we go to the declaration. Okay, I see majority of no. Yelena, can you confirm?
Yelena, IPSF Secretary General, so it is mixed, but it seems like the majority is for no.
Okay, so the 5 resolutions from the were uploaded to the folder as well. And all this resolution has been approved by the Regional Assembly. So if you didn't take a look, you still have the chance. We will proceed with the IPSF declaration, and I will read out the declaration before I open the floor for discussion on it. Okay, IPSF declaration and pharmacist's role in combating AMR, dispelling myth and increasing its awareness. The International Pharmaceutical Students Federation and its member organization, recognizing that antimicrobial resistance continues to be a global concern due to inappropriate or excessive use of antimicrobial products, which needs to be tackled urgently. Fully aware that AMR threatens global health, as well as the effective prevention and treatment of an ever-increasing range of infections caused by fungi, bacteria, viruses, and parasites. Alarmed by the fact that approximately 484,000 people develop multi-drug resistance and rifampicin-resistant tuberculosis globally in 2018, and AMR is complicating the fight against HIV/AIDS and malaria, in addition to potentially leading the world into a pre-antibiotic era. Deeply concerned by the financial burden and escalating healthcare costs for patients with resistant infections in comparison to the costs incurred by patients with non-resistant agents, factoring in a longer duration of illness, additional tests, complications, and use of more expensive drugs or associations of drugs. Convinced that AMR is a global problem that can only be addressed if all stakeholders work together through an integrated approach and international collaboration, as resistant bacteria are not confined by international borders. Acknowledging that pharmacists have a major role in combating AMR in different sectors, such as pharmaceutical industry, hospital pharmacy practice, clinical pharmacy practice, community pharmacy practice, research and development, academia, policy and advocacy, among others. Further acknowledging that pharmacists play a vital role in practicing and encouraging antimicrobial stewardship, as well as the proper use of antimicrobial medication. Believing that it's important It's important to empower pharmacists to educate the public and other healthcare professionals on the proper use of antimicrobial medications, reaffirming the role of IPSF as a youth healthcare organization that has established numerous initiatives in the past for pharmacy students and recent graduates in different areas, will continue its efforts in the area of antimicrobial stewardship. One, emphasizes the global nature of AMR and calls on sectors outside of healthcare, such as agriculture, to address this growing issue. Two, calls on health authorities and governments to reinforce current legislation to restrict the dispensatory circuits of antimicrobial medicines by implementing suitable regulations to fight off misuse, overuse of antimicrobials, such as rendering novel antimicrobial drugs and different forms of commercial association into prescription drugs. Introducing restrictions to narrow free OTC dispensing of antimicrobial drugs. And three, increasing inspections and penalizing malpractices, both in prescribing and dispensing. Number three of the call for action is to consider the establishment of a project grant or special fund on AMR awarded to member organizations periodically in support of antimicrobial stewardship projects programmed locally. Commits through its member organization to conduct public awareness campaigns at the community level in local languages when applicable, aimed at dispelling myths on AMR and centered on the following issues and their relation to AMR. The issues are: 1, rational use of medication; 2, One Health basics; self-medication; medicine adherence; water, sanitation and hygiene; substandard and falsified medicines. Number 5 of the actions resolves to disseminate up-to-date scientific and professional knowledge related to AMR through a diverse set of activities and engagements targeting various stakeholders. And this is to be done through collaborating with allied organizations, authorities, and professionals, tackling different aspects of the fight against AMR with competitions among students, scientific and educational content, and public health campaigns. Produce sound and clear policy position statements, as well as equip members and young pharmacists with the proper tools and techniques to raise awareness against AMR, accelerating behaviors or myths with well-framed, evidence-based, and conceivable content. Further resolves to organize professional development events themed on and centered around AMR to ensure IPSF members are continuously updated on AMR issues and actively engaged in the fight against AMR. Endorses the need to expand the scope of pharmacy services to allow pharmacists to vaccinate patients, as it has the potential to reduce the incidence of infections and thus reduce the need for antimicrobials. Recommends government and ministers of health to develop and implement national action plans on AMR that are based on the Global Action Plan and its main strategic objectives. Further recommends governments and ministers of health to engage and invest in the World Health Organization supported system, GLASS, which is Global Antimicrobial Resistance Surveillance System, a multilateral sharing platform to inform decision-making, drive local, national, and regional action. Encourages the utilization of the AWARE tool developed by the WHO, Essential Medicines List in the fight against AMR. Urges governments, health ministers, and professional societies to include AMR in the curricula of all health courses, mainly focusing on practical strategies on how to tackle AMR, and that continuous professional education is provided to strengthen the competencies of healthcare professionals. Affirms the importance of a One Health approach in combating AMR, including encouraging pharmacists to specialize in veterinary pharmacy. Calls upon authorities to include mandatory reporting of the quantity and purposes of antibiotic use in livestock to prohibit the use of reverse antibiotics and to fully include pharmacists in the process. Encourages ministers of health to trace herbal lists and conduct AMR awareness sessions, as well as train herbalists on antimicrobial stewardship. emphasizes the importance of interprofessional collaboration among healthcare professionals to ensure regional use of antimicrobial diagnostic techniques, rational prescribing, and rational dispensing of antimicrobials. Further emphasize the importance of strong national medicines regulatory authorities in countering the manufacture, sale, and distribution of substandard and falsified medical products that have been seen to contribute to AMR. Request the pharmaceutical industry to invest more in research and development of new antimicrobial medicines, vaccines, and point-of-care diagnostic tools. Calls upon experts, communicators, practitioners, and media institutions to reframe AMR in order for the public to understand and support actions against drug-resistant infections. And this is through, one, emphasizing that it is a universal issue which could affect anyone. Two, communicating in relatable terms that provide a human face of AMR. Three, framing the issue as solvable and accompanying it with a clear and specific call to action. And finally, the final action is to support the use of social media by health organizations and healthcare professionals to educate the public on appropriate antimicrobial use and condemn misinformation. Okay. I now open the floor for discussion on the declaration. If you have any point, please use the Google form. I don't see any points. Is the General Assembly comfortable with proceeding to vote on this? Okay, so for this one, let's try to use the chat box. Okay, so please do not write anything on the chat after this. Motion 55, the 66th IPSF General Assembly approves the IPSF Declaration on Pharmacists' Role in Combating AMR, Dispelling Myth, and Increasing its Awareness. This motion shall be achieved immediately and shall not be reviewed. All those against the motion? All those abstaining? Motion carried unanimously. The declaration has been approved and it will be disseminated through IPSF social media and it will be made public to all the IPSF members. Just an information, we will now be sharing the declaration only and not the regional resolutions. So the only document that will be added is the declaration to advocate for a global direction on this topic. And hopefully for next year, we will have actual implementation on local level. Thank you so much, everyone. Okay, Elena, we can have the next motion. Okay, motion 57, we will be discussing the IPSF strategic plan. Before I open the floor for discussion, I would like to give a brief overview about the plan, its preparation, reviewing, and finally implementation of the final draft. As we've been trying to keep the member informed and engaged throughout the year about the process used for the strategic plan reviewing, the first step started with the executive committee during EM2, with reviewing the previous plan and setting some sort of evaluation, follow-up, and progress. And the results of that was the progress report, which was also being evaluated by the task force and advisory board. Of course, a task force has been created. Several members have volunteered, and they've been working on all the aspects of the strategic plan. The people involved in the input in the strategic plan involve executive committee members, task force, advisory board, and alumni HLM. We had a wide survey that's been disseminated among all of those. And based on that, and based on the input, the executive committee, along with the task force and advisory board, have provided input and generated the new reviewed plan. And the final draft was shared with CPs a week or 10 days before the General Assembly. After the deadline, the plan was added to the general folder along with a link for further questions if any of the members have. And we have received I think 2 points, and it were incorporated accordingly in the plan. And 1 point it was answered, and the other one was agreed on by the executive committee and was added as well. So this is the final draft as per input, discussion, and review by the whole individuals involved in the process. I hope the process is clear to everyone. I'm sorry if I missed any steps. But yeah, I will now open the floor for discussion. If you have any point, please use the Google form. I see no points. Is the General Assembly comfortable with voting on this? Okay. We will try the chat as well to make it less complicated. And if needed, we can move to vote. So please do not write anything after this. Motion 57, the 66th IPSF General Assembly approves the IPSF Strategic Plan 2020-23. This motion shall be achieved immediately and shall not be reviewed. All those against the motion? All those abstaining? Motion carried unanimously. The strategic plan was approved, and it will be the working document for the next upcoming 3 years. Thank you so much, everyone. And I would like also to take the chance to thank the task force members, the executive committee working groups. It's been a bit challenging to work on this plan with the issues encountered throughout the mandate. However, I'm really proud of the efforts being done by all the individuals who contributed to this plan. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank you all for your efforts and your work on this. Thank you so much. I have a point from EFL Portugal. Please take the floor.
Hi everyone, Gabriel Branco, IFFL Portugal. I would like to thank you for this strategic plan, for presenting it. It was really good, and I would like to ask you to internally, because I understand that this cannot be shared to the public, like the strategic plan is going to be, to share with us the expected outcomes when you have them.
Thank you so much, EFL Portugal. The expected outcomes are already ready. We finalized them with the strategic plan, and if the CPs want, or I'm not sure, it can be shared with the contact person from each association. So this can definitely be shared. However, as you mentioned, it's only for internal use. So, okay, so we can definitely share this with the contact person. Great. So next motion. Okay, so I'd like to give the floor to Yelena to explain the grouping of the MOUs here. Yelena?
Yelena, IPSF Secretary General. So what we decided during the prep sessions was that we would put all the MOUs, the Memorandum of Understanding that are just renewed in one motion, and every Memorandum of Understanding that is completely new as a separate motion. So we would vote on this together, but like I said before, also if you feel like we should vote on a Memorandum of Understanding separately, we can also do that. But yeah, these are just the ones that are renewed.
Okay, and PPSA UK stating that there is a typo. Medical Students Association. Okay. All right, so I'd like to assess the floor. Are you comfortable with discussing all those MOUs together? Okay, so we have MOU from IFMSA, FESPAO, FAMSA, and EPSA. I would like to open the floor for discussion. I hope that you get the chance to go through all of them. And if you have any point, please use the Google form. I see that we have points, but I don't see them on the list. Can someone check? Yes, so first we have Isma Farsi Indonesia. Please take the floor.
Varansia is my verse in Indonesia. I just want to comment on the APSA MOU because like it doesn't have a signature page for IPSF president, so I'm not sure how this MOU is legalized by the federation and valid. So can we just also get information about this?
Okay, 1 minute, we are checking if there is a missing page on that. Okay, so Farsi, are you saying that there is no page for signature or there is no signature? Can you clarify?
Like page for the signature, like the others MOU. I'm not sure, but I double checked and I didn't see that. Thank you.
Okay, so just a point of information, and if Joao would like to add to that. So we will definitely add the page for the signature at the end. All the MOUs are not signed yet by myself. We first need to approve them all before we sign all the documents. This is just a point of information, so you can all be aware of the process. So all the MOUs that you will find in the folder will not be signed. And yes, there is a missing part for the signature, and I will give the floor to Joao to give more information on this.
Joao, Chairperson of Europe. Sorry, indeed, there is no page about the signature, but if we are following the same protocol as in the previous EPSA MOUs, we will have it signed by the EPSA President, IPSF President, Chairperson of IPSF European Regional Office, and also EPSA Vice President of External Relations. This was not something we discussed with EPSA specifically, but it will be at least have to be signed by the EPSA President and IPSF President, and this doesn't change the content of the MOU. So this can be something that can be addressed after that. Thank you.
Okay, we have CPSA Croatia.
Low Canal CPSA Croatia, we would just like to raise our concern about a varying number of grammatical and factual errors present in a lot of these MOUs, not just the ones present on this list. For example, the MOU with the International Association of Dental Students states that IPSF was founded in 1994, which we all know it wasn't. So we call for all of these to be spell checked before they are approved. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, CPSA Croatia. We will do a double check on that. KMPSV, the Netherlands, please take the floor.
Bram, KMPSV, the Netherlands. So we were also about to make this point, not specifically for these MOUs, but also for the ones that are still coming up. And it makes us wonder how it is possible that these types of errors make it into MOUs, which are really important documents that we share with our external partners. Didn't the executive committee proofread these documents, for example? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, KMPSV, the Netherlands. The MOUs has been reviewed also by the executive committee. Maybe we missed some of the points, and we are now discussing internally with the executive committee to review all those typos. Also, just an information, we received all the MOUs all together, maybe for the GA, and we apologize if we're missing any typos for that, but we're now discussing with the executive committee to review those, because indeed it is important, especially for such figures. Okay, so we have two options here. Okay, can I give the floor to Yelena?
Yelena, IPSF Secretary General. So yes, we admit that there might be some typos, and we appreciate that you are pointing them out. As we reviewed them, we focus more on the content, that everything is stated correctly. And I would like to just ask the GA to, point out any typos as well, but also discuss the content. And after approval of the MOUs, we can always still make technical changes and proofread them again, so that there are no typos. But basically what this means, even after approval, we can make technical changes for typos, but not change any content or so. Thank you.
Okay, can I access the floor? If we have any comments on the content about the MOU, this needs to be addressed now. Otherwise, any technical or typos, we can confirm that we will do another proofreading before proceed to signing. So do we have any other points on these MOUs? Okay, let's try to use the chat for this. And please do not write anything after this. Motion 58, this the 66th IPSF General Assembly approves the Memoranda of Understanding with the International Federation of Medical Students Association, Fédération d'étudiants et sciences okay, FESPAO, I'm sorry for my French, Federation of African Medical Students Association, FAMSA, and European Pharmaceutical Students Federation, EPSA. This motion shall be achieved immediately and shall not be reviewed once it has been achieved. Okay, just to confirm that executive committee are now reviewing as well the MOUs for any typos. So now we will proceed to vote on this based on content, and further proofreading will be done afterwards. So all those against the motion? All those abstaining? Motion carries unanimously. So we will proceed with finalizing those MOUs and inform our counterparts about the signing process accordingly. Thank you so much. Okay, motion 59. The 66th IPSF General Assembly approves the Memorandum of Understanding with International Veterinary Students Association, IVSA. This motion shall be achieved immediately and shall not be reviewed once it has been achieved. I open the floor for discussion. I see no points. I close the floor for discussion. Proceed to voting. We will use the chat box as well. All those against the motion? All those abstaining? Motion carried unanimously. Thank you so much. And we will update IVSA accordingly. Virtual clap. Okay, next motion. Okay, so motion 60. The 66th IPSF General Assembly approves the Memorandum of Understanding with International Association of Dental Students, IADS. This motion shall be achieved immediately and shall not be reviewed once it has been achieved. We already noted the comment from CPSA Croatia about the date, and it will be corrected accordingly along with the other proofreading process. I now open the floor for discussion. I don't see any points. I close the floor for discussion and proceed to voting. I will use the chat box one more time. All those against the motion? All those abstaining? Motion carried unanimously. Thank you so much. And we will update IADS with this as well. Okay, motion 61. This is 60. We have a typo. EPSA UK, all clear. Okay. Motion 61, this the 66th IPSF General Assembly approves the Memorandum of Understanding with Dusit Blue Foundation, DPF. This motion shall be achieved immediately and shall not be reviewed once it has been achieved. I open the floor for discussion. I see no point. I close the floor for discussion and proceed to vote. All those against the motion? All those abstaining? Motion carried unanimously. Thank you so much. And the MOU is approved. Some energy. Okay, motion 62. This 66th IPSF General Assembly approves the memorandum of understanding with AOFNX. This motion shall be achieved immediately and shall not be reviewed once it has been achieved. I open the floor for discussion. I see no point. I close the floor for discussion. And now we will vote on this. All those against the motion? All those abstaining? Motion carried unanimously. Thank you so much, guys. Clap, clap. Energizer is needed. Okay, we have already NAPSA excited for this. Okay, motion 63. The 66th IPSF General Assembly approves the Memorandum of Understanding with Universal Scientific Education and Research Network. This motion shall be achieved immediately and shall not be reviewed once it has been achieved. I open the floor for discussion. And also just a point of information, we are now reviewing all the MOUs and we're again having the same typo with the date, and this will be noted as well. And I have a point from AFOP Austria.
Marlene AFOP Austria. Not sure if this counts as a typo, but there is no location and no person or contact in the representation part. In the introduction, the location is missing, and then in the representation, user is represented by this contact is also missing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, AFOP Austria, for the note. Esma Farsi, Indonesia.
Faransia Farsi, Indonesia. Thank you, Aya. So I think I just would like to advise not just for this MOU, but also for overall MOU, if we can use the same introductions for IPSF. So for example, if we want to put this in this partner, we should put that in every MOUs, such as like locations. If we need to put that, we put that in every MOUs as well. And then like, for example, it's just as simple as the International Pharmaceutical Students Federation and blah, blah, blah. We usually say that representing more than, over, or approximately. So which one we want to use as well. And are we only using 500,000 pharmacy students and recent graduates, or are we going to use pharmaceutical science students and recent graduates, just like how we write it in the official document? And then like from more than or over 92 countries, or we just write it as like from 92 countries, because in website it's just from 92 countries. So maybe this kinds of like small minor things, or we can standardize every introductions of IPSF according to how we write in official document and IPSF presentation slides. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Esma Farsi Indonesia, for the note. Okay, so until now we've noted all the technical changes. That does not change the content. If there is any concerns about the content, we won't be able to proceed with voting on this one. However, if it's typos, this for sure will be reviewed, and we will be going through all the MOUs one last time before signing. Also, the final draft that is reviewed and grammatically corrected will be shared with contact persons. So does the General Assembly feels comfortable to vote on this one if there is no concerns about the content? Basically agreeing on the terms in this MOU, it's what's most important to us. So we can know if you agree on the terms stated, and then based on that, we will fix all the typos there. Okay, so I don't see any other points. We will proceed to vote on this. All those against the motion? All those abstaining? Motion carried unanimously. Thank you so much. And point of information on behalf of the executive committee, we will have a deadline for ourselves to review all the documents and to have the final ones by Sunday. I hope this is okay with everyone. When I say final ones, I mean those are corrected in terms of typos and grammar. So 30th of August, we will have the final drafts of all MOUs before we send them. Okay, motion 64. The 66th IPSF General Assembly approves the Memorandum of Understanding with Axios International. This motion shall be achieved immediately and shall not be reviewed once it has been achieved. I open the floor for discussion. I don't see any points. I close the floor for discussion. We'll proceed to vote on this. All those against the motion? All those abstaining? Motion carried unanimously. Thank you, everyone. And we will proceed with this partnership as well. Thank you. Okay, so motion 65. The 66th IPSF General Assembly approves the updated IPSF Code of Ethics and Conduct. This motion shall be achieved immediately and shall not be reviewed. I open the floor for discussion. I hope that you got the chance to look at the new updated Code of Ethics and Conduct for IPSF. This document is to be signed by all the team members. Yelena?
Yelena, IPSF Secretary General, just to make clear what exactly is updated. It's the part about GDPR and the extended part about respect. How do you say? Wait, let me just check.
Diversity, respect for diversity.
Exactly, and the extended part about respect, equality, diversity, and inclusion. So these parts are updated, the rest was the same. Thank you.
Okay, do we have any points on this? I see none. We will proceed to vote on this one. I will use the chat box one more time. All those against the motion? All those abstaining? Motion carried unanimously. The code is updated now, and this will be added along with the contracts for our team members now to be followed and respected. Okay, motion 45. This the 66th IPSF General Assembly approves the proposed changes to the SEP regulations. This motion shall be achieved immediately and shall not be reviewed. Shams, would you like to give brief introduction to this?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Aya Shams, Chairperson of Student Exchange. So the SEP regulations, the changes are mainly to follow what we've been doing. Also with the changes and the using of the usage of the new SEP database. So basically no major changes, mainly they were technical changes or like I said, to follow our normal procedures. So I hope you guys all got a chance to take a look. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Shams. I now open the floor for discussion. I see no point. We will proceed to vote on this. Again, we will try the chat. All those against the motion? All those abstaining? Motion carried unanimously. Thank you so much, everyone. I have a clarification from LPSA Lebanon.
Hadil Mdahli, LPSA Lebanon. So I just want a clarification in the agenda points. Number 19 mentioned that we're gonna see the report for the World Congress 2022, but we didn't do that. So I would just wanted a clarification whether we're tabling it or we're not discussing it. And I also can't seem to find the report in the folder as well. Thank you.
Yelena, would you like to clarify this one?
Yelena, IPSF Secretary General. Yes, so that's true. The agenda was not updated accordingly, but also we had like discussions with the chairperson all the time, and he said he will submit it, but in the end he didn't. So we didn't know if we should change it or not. And also they are not mandated, so there would not have been a motion on this in the first place. And they just stated that firstly they will submit something, but they don't want to hold a presentation, and in the end they didn't submit anything after several reminders. So that's that. Thank you.
Okay, next motion. Motion 46, this the 66th IPSF General Assembly approves the proposed changes to the IPSF official document. This motion shall be achieved immediately and shall not be reviewed. I open the floor for discussion. I don't see any points. I close the floor for discussion and we proceed to vote on this. I will use the chat box. All those against the motion? All those abstaining? Motion carried unanimously. Thank you. and we will work on incorporating the new changes to the official document. Okay, so as per the presentation by KNAPS Korea, they already stated that they will follow the same theme for the World Congress. So we need to vote on this as well. So motion 47, the 66th IPSF General Assembly approves the theme for the Educational Symposium of the 66th IPSF World Congress 2021, threats or opportunities leading the way towards patient safety through innovative platforms for patient education. This motion shall be achieved immediately and shall not be reviewed. I open the floor for discussion. I see no points. I close the floor for discussion and we will proceed to vote on this. We will use the chat. All those against the motion? All those abstaining? Motion carried unanimously and the theme is approved for next year. Hopefully we will have it on site. Who's planning on going to Korea next year? Honestly expected more, but okay. Nice. Okay, great. Motion 48. The 66th IPSF General Assembly approves the theme for the Scientific Symposium of the 66th IPSF World Congress 2021, Pharmacogenomics Clinical Blueprint for Individualized Patient Care. This motion shall be achieved immediately and shall not be reviewed. I open the floor for discussion. I don't see any points. I close the floor for discussion and we will vote on the chat. All those against the motion? All those abstaining? Motion carried unanimously and the theme is approved for the scientific symposium. Next motion. Okay, so next we will start with the members' motions submitted. And first we have motion proposed by SPSF Sudan, seconded by EPSF Egypt. Do we have representatives from SPSF Sudan? Okay, so can you please provide motivation? You can take the floor.
Hello, everyone, and good morning. Can you hear me? Sorry. Okay. So SPSF Sudan has been a member of IPSF since 2014 with no previous history of late payment. The debt originated mainly from members who failed to pay their World Congress fees and due to miscommunication with the past treasurer, where we have not been fully aware of the situation. And due to the money transaction restriction in Sudan and the political instability in our country, where we have revolution and the universities closed for a long time. So we have faced challenges to find sponsors to cover our debt. And that was a very hard time. And due to the current time of the pandemic, so all that made it very hard for us to pay the fees as planned. So SPSF Sudan has been a very active member organization since joining IPSF. We do not want to we do not wish under any circumstances to lose our membership, and we are fully committed to pay our debt to the fullest, and we wish the GA will consider our unfortunate event that lead us here and accept our sincere wishes to address it accordingly. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, SPSF Sudan. EPSF Egypt, would you like to add anything?
Yasmin Gohari, contact person of EPSF Egypt. So I'd just like to say that SPSF Sudan has been one of the active associations in EMRO. They were planning on hosting AMPS 2019, so it's unfair to give up on them now that they're facing some issues. Thank you.
Okay, so now after hearing from the proposer and the seconder, I would like to open the floor for discussion. If you have any points, please use the Google form. Okay, we have a point from BPSA UK. Please take the floor.
Sebastian, BPSA UK. Can you elaborate a little bit on your plan to meet this deadline? Thanks.
SPSF Sudan.
Yes, we have put a plan to full the payment that we have shared with the treasurer to pay the amount at the end of the September and at the end of January and at the end of May, plus the New Year membership fees.
Okay, do we have other points? I don't see any points. Is the General Assembly comfortable with proceeding to vote on this? Okay, so okay, so we will use NEMO vote for this one to avoid any confusion with the voting. Motion 70, this the 66th IPSF General Assembly accept the extended payment plan of SPSF Sudan and postpones the deadline for them to fully pay their fees and debt till May 30th, 2021. This motion, once carried, will not be reviewed by the 67th General Assembly. Can we have a confirmation? Do we have Nemo vote ready?
Just a second, sorry. Yeah, it's open, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm missing votes from many of you. For Argentina, PANS Nigeria, Mali, Peru, Romania, Ghana, PPHD Germany, and TPAYC. Can you please vote as soon as you can? Okay, now we are waiting for PANS Nigeria, GPSA Ghana, and TPAYC Turkey. Okay, PANS Nigeria, GPSA Ghana, and TPAYC Turkey. Do we have representatives from those associations? Nigeria, Ghana, and Turkey. Okay. GPSA, PANS, TPAYC. We can see that you're in the room. Can you please confirm to us if you're facing any issues with the voting or what is happening on your end? Okay, the time is over. Joao, can I ask you to close the vote and share the results and consider the 3 association who did not vote as spoiled? Okay, sorry, I was speaking while muted. So this, the 66th IPSF General Assembly accepts the extended payment plan of SPSF Sudan and postpones the deadline for them to fully pay their fees and debt till May 30th, 2021. This motion, once carried, will be reviewed by the 67th IPSF General Assembly. The motion was carried and the results can be seen on the screen. So SPSF Sudan, please coordinate with the IPSF treasurer so you can fulfill the payment by the plan agreed. Okay. Next motion proposed by UPSA Uganda and NAPSA Sierra Leone. Do we have the proposer and the seconder in the room? Okay, NAPSA Sierra Leone. Do we have the seconder? Okay, so Uganda, please provide the motivation. We cannot hear you. Uganda, we cannot hear you. Okay, can you type? PSA UK, would you like to take the floor so we can understand better your technical?
Sebastian VPC UK, I think focus and also should be swapped around. Thanks.
Okay. Okay, I will read out the motivation by Uganda as he shared on the chat. So he's saying, so the motion is based in the dynamics. Second. The motion is based on the dynamics of the current situation and possible situation in the future, where physical attendance of some delegates may be hard. So we would like to propose that the EXCO investigates the possibility of adding virtual attendance to the normal assemblies and see which right to revoke or not. I open the floor for discussion. We have a point from APEF Portugal.
Nishkwalape, Portugal. I'd like to say that our
we do not stand for this motion because we should not forget that the Assembly is the highest decision body of the Federation, and having half of the delegates are through online platforms and the rest on in-person GA, we do not think that this is able to achieve, and it would raise interesting attend World Congresses, so we do not support this motion. Thank you. Okay, next we have EPSA UK.
It's in BPSA UK. It's more of a clarification. Because UPSA Uganda has specifically mentioned the rights, investigating the rights or revoking the rights of voting. Can they just clarify why they've like emphasized that point? Thank you.
Okay, so UPSA Uganda, can you provide more clarification about the point about the right? Can you provide more information about the right to revoke or not? So answer from IPSA Uganda is saying attendance of the delegates virtually shall be different and not all rights can be awarded equally as the physically attending delegates. Okay, direct APF Portugal. APF Portugal. Okay. Another direct from BPSA UK.
Sebastian BPSA UK, I'd like to propose an amendment to the motion. I'd like to remove the part about focusing on rights because I feel like the investigation should be about attending virtually, and I feel like it's like an opinion in the motion, if that makes sense. That's the impression I get. Thank you.
Okay, so just to confirm, PPSA UK, you would like to take the part about actual rights out? The part about
Yeah,
the,
the whole part about investigation should also focus on the actual rights. Thank you.
Okay, so can I ask IPSA Uganda if you agree on the amendment proposed by PPSA UK? Okay, so can we amend Yelena? I'm not sure if we have the seconder. No, the seconder of the motion. Nafsa Sierra Leone. Okay. Okay, so we will need to vote on the amendment. The proposer and the seconder remains the same since the proposer already accepted. Okay, so it was already changed on the system and we have the same proposer and the seconder. So now we will proceed with the list. Next, I have APEF Portugal. Okay, PPSA UK. Okay. AFOP Austria.
Marlene, AFIP Austria. AFIP wonders why this motion is necessary since there is already a system in place. If nobody from a member association can attend a live GA, you can always delegate your vote. Plus, there is live stream if you want to follow GA. Thank you.
Just clarification from AFOP Austria, is this a statement or your question is directed to Psoganda? Should we ask them to answer? Okay. No, I'm just confirming if it's a question. Yes. Okay, so Ganda, can you please answer this one? Yes, please. You can either take the floor or type on the chat. Okay, I'll read out the answer from IPSA Uganda. This motion shall enable delegates decide on who to vote on and also have the real-time GA experience, for example, during closed discussions and all of that. I have a direct from KMPC, the Netherlands.
Bram, KMPSC, the Netherlands. So KMPSC really respects your intention behind this motion. However, we do not really support it at this point, as was already explained by AFOP. We have some mechanisms in place that you can use. We do have live streaming. You can delegate your vote. You can also communicate with the member organization that you delegate your vote to. And the reason we wouldn't like this to be investigated is that we don't want the executive committee to be putting in work into investigations that we think might not be feasible, as closed discussions with a virtual system doesn't seem very appealing to us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Can we go back to the new point? We have EPSF Egypt.
Yes, EPSF. So I understand that the motion is to investigate like other possibilities or like flexible situations, but I want to ask about like how do they expect the secret to be like happen, because I understand that the motion is to be investigated, but I think that should be something on their mind, like how is someone virtually going to attend a secret discussion? And I do believe that if this motion is carried, then a lot of members or like GA wouldn't actually be a GA, and most of people wouldn't actually attend a World Congress or a regional assembly. Thank you.
Okay, so Uganda, would you like to provide clarification on this point about attending virtually through during secret discussion? Okay. So IPSA Uganda is saying it's subject to investigation by EXCO 2. All right, so I have a point of clarification from PPSA UK.
Asking VPC UK. I think I understand the spirit of this motion quite well, and I guess I can clarify for IPSA Uganda. These questions you're asking is the point of the investigation, and then you're asking logistical questions that the investigation would find out. So there's no point asking the logistics now, as we're discussing the investigation. Thank you.
PPSA UK, would you like to take your direct?
Dropped, please.
Okay. Do we have other points? I see none. Is everyone comfortable to proceed with voting on this? Okay, Joao, can I have a confirmation if Nemo vote is ready? Yelena or Joao, can I have a confirmation
Sorry,
on Nemo?
Yeah, the wording is not exactly the same. I'm updating it just to be sure that
Okay,
it's
thank you.
correct. Okay, it's open. Thank you.
Okay, I'm missing Pans Nigeria, Czech Republic, Ghana, TPAYC, and FIF Spain. Representatives from those associations, can you vote, please? Okay, so we have again PANS Nigeria, GPSA, and TPAYC, same associations we were missing in the previous voting. Can I have a confirmation if we have representatives from those associations? Otherwise, we will have to take their voting rights. And we're still missing FIF Spain. PANS Nigeria, GPSA Ghana, and TPAYC Turkey. And FIF Spain now. We can see representatives from those associations, so can we please have a confirmation on that? Okay, can we have the time left for any more vote? Okay, I see Ahmed from Pans, Nigeria. Okay, Ahmed, Farsila, and Yigit. Okay, Turkey, are you having any issues with voting? Okay. All right, so the time is over already. Can we close NEMO vote and have the results? Meanwhile, TPIYC Turkey, can you please state the issue that you're facing? We're missing your votes for 2 motions now. Okay, can we have the results on the screen? And we are taking out voting rights from PANS and Ghana. And TPIYC Turkey, please clarify the situation that you're having. So motion 71, the 66th IPSF General Assembly mandates the Executive Committee to investigate the possibility of allowing official delegates that are unable to physically attend the coming General Regional Assemblies to be virtually present. This motion shall be achieved by the 67th IPSF General Assembly. The motion was carried and the results can be seen on the screen. I have a clarification from EPSF Egypt.
So I think for a motion to be carried, isn't it supposed to be like simple majority, which is like 22 to be carried? Or 4? I'm just making sure. I'm not sure. Thank you.
So just a clarification, abstentions and spoiled are taken off the count. So it is simple majority now, so. Okay. Clarification, EPSF Egypt.
Yasmin, EPSF. I just wanted to ask, why aren't we doing the roll call again before voting? Because I think it's time consuming where we have to look for the member organizations who aren't present. So I think the roll call, yes, it took a while, but it was less time consuming than now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, EPSF Egypt. We tend to do the roll call, but also please remember that NEMO vote is also bound to time. Once 5 minutes is over, we close the voting directly. So we try to follow up with the members. If none, we close the vote anyways when we reach the 5 minutes limit. Okay, next. Okay, can we do something with maybe the font? Can we make it a bit smaller so we can have the whole motion on the screen? Okay. So motion 72. Do we have the proposer and the seconder? Okay, APF Portugal, would you like to take the floor?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, in Escola APF Portugal, we are proposing this motion because this year, for example, we had two resignations in the executive committee, and we did not have any update regarding the work that was done by them. Even in our RGG, there were two resignations of secretaries, and we did not have any updates as well. So our idea behind this motion is to have all the people who resign or dismiss from the position to submit a report at the end of the mandate stating the work that was done until the moment of the resignation. Also, we have decided to include a small point in the article 6.3.3 because this year I remember that we also had coordinators resigning, and we did not have that information, and we thinking for the sake of transparency to have this information shared with the contact persons as well. Thank you. BPSA UK, would you like to add anything?
Yeah, Sebastian, BPSA UK. We think this is actually a really good motion. It would prevent situations where there could be a treasurer or a sec gen or someone in a 2-year position spending 2 years in the role, resigning a month before their report is due, and then not making a report. Because if that happens, you lose that 2 years of experience that isn't recorded, because at the moment they're not mandated to write a report if they resign. Thank you.
Okay. So now I will open the floor for discussion. Do we have any point? I see none. Is the General Assembly comfortable with voting on this motion? Okay, as I see no discussion on this one, I will try to use the chat. Is this okay with everyone? Okay. So please do not write anything else in the chat. Point of information, motion committee. Okay. Okay, so we're discussing among motion committee and ECTRON. We would like to just confirm with the proposer and the seconder on the right wording on 6.3.4, resigning, or is it dismissing or dismissing? Can we just confirm this?
Dismissing.
EPSA UK?
Maybe
Yes.
Sebastian, BPSA UK. If Inesh is happy, you can say resigning or dismissed.
Yeah, for me it's okay. Okay, and we have a point of clarification from Hira.
Is it? So it said originally demissing, and then we thought it meant dismissing, so we changed it to dismissing. But we need clarification. Do you mean to demiss, which is a different word, to dismiss?
So I think they just confirmed that it will be dismissed. So can I just have a yes or no from BPSA UK and APEF that we will have it as dismissed? Okay. Can we edit this on the motion? Okay, so as we agreed, we'll proceed to vote on the chat. All those against the motion? All those abstaining? Motion carried unanimously. Okay, thank you so much. And it will be implemented as of next year. Hopefully there will be no resignation. Okay. Can we have the next point, Yelena? Okay, motion 66, HLM induction. And just a brief introduction, this year we have received 2 proposals from members, and executive committee has assessed and added to the folder accordingly. So the first one is for Ms. Petra Orlik from Croatia. And I would like to proceed directly and open the floor for a discussion for this one. Direct, Yelena?
Yelena, IPSF Secretary General. So open floor is here to give the proposer and the seconder to state their motivation on proposing this person for honorary life membership, and then we proceed to close discussion without the nominee inside the room. Thank you.
Okay, can you remind me of the proposer and the seconder, please? Can we update that on the screen? Can we update it on the screen? Okay. So I will start with CPSA Croatia.
Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me. So we propose that Ms. Petra Orlic, former IPSF president, be accepted as an honorary life member of IPSF. So throughout her mandates as the president-elect from 2017 to 2018 and president from 2018 to 2019, she attended several events on behalf of the Federation and established new partnerships and projects, which have ultimately contributed to the development of the Federation. For example, by attending the WHSS in Rwanda, she managed to establish a new partnership with NextGen EU. Also, at the 73rd WHA of the WHO, she delivered a side effect on vaccine hesitancy with multiple stakeholders invited and organized workshops with the FIP and FIP-YPG. In regards to FIP, thanks to her efforts, IPSF took part in organizing a joint project on global migration with the FIP Workforce Development Hub and implemented and chaired the first FIP hackathon at the regional conference for the European region. During her mandate as president, together with the policy committee, Petra was also able to issue the first policy booklet 101, an essential document for all CPs, and she also introduced a series of policy webinars for the member organizations, both of which greatly improved the quality of life of all IPSF members, especially new ones. Petra has also tried to be on top of the work of all portfolios and regional offices, and this was evidenced when she attended the first European Regional Symposium last year. And even after her mandate as president ended, Petra did not stop working for the Federation. She assumed the position of immediate past president and the chairperson of the IPSF advisory board, where she has remained active and provided valuable feedback, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic, including this year's online GAs and RAs. We believe that through her work, she has shown an unparalleled dedication to the Federation and her effort in bettering its status, all the while disregarding personal gain. And this has made her more than worthy of the title of honorary life member. Thank you.
Thank you. Apef, would you like to add something?
Yes, in Escola per Portugal. So I think Luca said most of the things. I just want to highlight some of her main achievements, such as the new setup device. Also, something that we did not forget in, or we did not include in the nomination form, but Petra did also implement the IPSF team quarterly reports in her mandate as president-elect, which is something very important that moved the IPSF forward in terms of increasing transparency on the work done by the committees, coordinators, and the whole IPSF team. Also, and this another thing regarding FIP, she established and implemented the very first hackathon in the FIP European Regional Conference, and also she delivered the very first joint statement with FIP Young Pharmacist Group at the WHA, which is something that was very beneficial for the Federation, and all these things allowed us to see how Petra has developed the relationships that IPSF with FIP. Also, she implemented the policy booklet, as Luke already said, and many other things. And she was always on the top of the work of all the portfolios and etc. And we do believe that she really deserves to have this membership. Thank you.
Okay, so we proceed to the closed discussion. Can we have the live stream off, recording off? Just to make sure that, okay.